if you want, you know, proof and evidence of how hard he is to use, only Yoshimitsu does worse online. Jin players get absolutely killed. What's up, guys? MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and welcome to a breakdown of Kazuya Mishima's son, Jin Kazama, in Season 4. Holy hell! And this is a character that in Season 4 has a lot of people butthurt. No! Why did Jin get nerfed? No! Well, relax. I'm here to tell you that Jin is still extremely strong. He got nerfed a little bit, but in ways that are extremely interesting. He has more defined identity now, weaknesses and strengths, and I think it's really a step in the right direction. And to be honest, he was still a little bit ridiculous. It's good that he came down a little bit more, in my opinion. He's still really good. You have nothing to worry about. Except for this nerf. No, I'm just kidding. You'll see after my little breakdown here that everything is fine in Kazama land. Well, mostly. So the new move is the Gazer. So that's an extension of back forward 2-1. You can now do down forward 2. You used to have this old option here. It's interesting that Double Jin and Jin both got their new moves are extensions to their laser cannon. So yes, if I press down for 2 there towards the end for the third hit, instead of a normal 2, I get this uppercut. That is minus 14 on block with very little pushback, so it's extremely risky. It's very slow. Does track a bit to both sides. It ducks down, so it has some crushing there. But honestly, in the neutral, this is pretty much completely useless. And what it is just a new wall combo, basically. Like so. Which gives very good Oki. As you can see, it backflips them. So you can set up some cool Oki. Does a lot of damage. They actually buffed the damage of a second hit. You see now it does 14, used to do only 10. And this is just to make this more viable for wall combo purposes. You'll note that the old wall combos you do, like for example this, does 54, so the Gazer actually matches the damage, but gives way better Oki. So yes, basically a new wall combo, and it's gonna serve its purpose very well. So not very dramatic, the new move for Jin, but still kinda cool. Another great thing they did is give the second hit here, back for 2-3, a higher hitbox. So now it is perfectly consistent in combos. The second hit used to drop if you did not delay it a little bit. So his combos are now very consistent, involving back for 2-3 to screw the opponent. This is a great quality of life change for Jin players. And now we're going to get into some buffs which strengthen his identity. The Tekken devs want to reinforce Jin's strength as a poking character. So 214, which in my opinion always was one of the best poke strings in the game, they made it so that the last hit now is +4 on hit with reduced pushback compared to before. And it used to be +2 on hit. So now you get 2 more plus frames, a very healthy +4, and with less pushback. So you can actually utilize that +4, really well. Take full, what's the word? Take full advantage of those +4. So the very welcome change. And then 1 down 3 does more damage. The second hit used to do 7 damage, and it now does 9. So that's 2 more. So again, a buff to a poke string. Another poke string that was buffed is down 3-3. This always was launch punishable on block. Now -14. So most characters can't launch that. It has less pushback on block, however. So still risky, but used to be -16. Everyone would launch that. So buffs. These were all of the buffs to his poking, and I'm really happy to see that. They want to reinforce the poke identity of a character. And then we're gonna get to a substantial nerf, and it's that forward 4 now on block is neutral. This used to be +4. So this is a really big nerf. So this, albeit slower, slightly slower, but used to match, you know, the heavy frame advantage of a Mishima forward 4. You know, Heihachi and Kazuya, forward 4, plus 4. So this is good. You don't want Jin to resemble the Mishimas too much. He should have his own identity. So now he doesn't have a classic forward 4 into plus 4. And this also actually nerfs his Oki. Jin, if you want to talk about weakness Tekken 7 Jin has always had, it's in terms of Oki. His Oki has never been very good or dramatic. It was really good in like Tag 2 and Tekken 6, just due to back 2-1. That was so threatening, because any type of like, you know, back roll or anything, he would just refloat you with back 2-1 and bound you. Really strong. But now that back roll catches are gone, you know, in the Tekken 7 Oki system, they'll just slide away from you. Jin's Oki is not very threatening. You know, you have like down 4 to try and hit them. But the one thing he'd have that was a decent option was like forward 4. It would hit grounded. If they tried to do any type of get up kick, you know, it would counter hit them, knock them right back into the ground. If they got up and got hit by it, a very healthy +8. You know, you still have a +8, that's great. And if they stood up into a block, you got a +4 into pressure. But now being neutral on block, yeah, it's a nerf to that move in the neutral, but more than so, you know, it serves as a nerf to his Oki. So yet again, reinforcing identity that a weakness he already had turns into a little bigger weakness, an even bigger weakness in my opinion. So poking used to do that well, goes up. Oki, a weakness, being reinforced, it's an even bigger weakness now. Interesting. His standing 4 got a nerf, another really key move. Now on counter hit, it doesn't, you know, slump them into a huge combo where you can screw the opponent. Now it screws them immediately, so obviously much less wall travel, less damage, but still, you can do some really good stuff after here. You know, whatever combo you want to do. So that's it's not the biggest nerf in the world, but definitely a nerf to Jin, and it's quite welcome, to be honest, in my opinion. And then 1-2-4, the last hit has seen reduced damage. It goes from 30 to 26. That would mostly be used in combos or as a mix-up to 1-2-3. Not an enormous nerf, but any type of combo now that revolves around 1-2-4 will have reduced damage. So it's mainly going to be, I think, the while standing 4 combo after forward 4 counter it. And then down 4, and this is something you've seen a lot with the top tiers. They've gotten reduced damage on their quick low pokes. And Jin, no exception. This goes from, I think, 13 damage down to 11. So, this is, however, a slight nerf to his poking. But you still have down by 4. Maybe they want to stress you using 1 down 3, whatever. So definitely a nerf that's felt a little bit, but not too dramatic in my opinion. You still have the incredible down by 4. And yes, I mean, his hell sweep just remains unchanged. It's still very strong. Tracks to both sides. And then forward 1+2 has been made more consistent. First hit has less pushback. Weird things could happen. It's more consistent now. Forward 3-1-2. If you now block the first punch, the second hit is no longer duckable. It jails on block. Down by 3 goes from -13 on block down to -10 or -11 depending on the distance. And really, that is it for Jin's changes. So he's absolutely not a useless character now. He has not gone down to mid-tier. He still remains very strong. He's just less stupid. It's not like he was stupid in Season 3. It's still, you know, one of the absolute hardest characters in the game. If you want, you know, proof and evidence of how hard he is to use, only Yoshimitsu does worse online. Jin players get absolutely killed. But of course, if you're a very strong player in high level of play, he does really well. If you know what you're doing, obviously. You're really, really good. So I think it's really cool that he comes down a little bit in certain areas and then comes up in terms of poking. I think it's really serves his identity well. He's more interesting now. And honestly, he still remains an incredibly strong character with some of the best tools in the game. Really, the character is really, really good. So I hope you JIN players don't worry. JIN is still really, really good. So I hope you enjoyed this breakdown of JIN, and I hope you have thanks for listening to me and have a lovely day. Take care.